How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Roxamore Sports Network, here live from Golden Gloves Boxing, here from the Monroeville Mall. My name's Travis Newton. I'll be joined by Johnny Spell later on, alongside Hiawatha Hudson as well. They'll both be joining me. But we're excited here. 10 fights here in the Golden Gloves Boxing. All weight classes ranging from 101 pounds to 165 pounds. We'll go ahead and take you through the list. Starting off our first fight, we got Niko Province going on against Lyle Rodriguez. That is the 101-pound intermediate final weight class. And then we have 9 more fights coming up after that. The headliner tonight is our final fight, LaRon Roxamore against Brandon Walkins. So we have a lot of excitement here from the Western Pennsylvania Golden Gloves Boxing, live from the Monroeville Mall, all on the Roxamore Sports Network. We're getting ready for the first of the fights here. Once again, it's LaRon Roxamore in the 152-pound division. He'll be taking on Brandon Walkins out of Castle Boxing Gymnasium. So we're getting ready to get things started here, live from the Monroeville Mall. We'll be right back here on the Roxamore Sports Network.
Good evening, everybody. We're going to be bringing the boxers in here very shortly. If everyone could start taking their seats.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back here to the Roxamore Sports Network. Travis Newton with you before we get things started here from the Golden Gloves Boxing, here live at the Monroeville Mall. Let's take you through the fight cards for the night. Getting things started in our first bout, Niko Province out of Gold Medal Gym against Lyle Rodriguez out of Center Ave, WPAL Gymnasium. That'll be the 101-pound weight class in the intermediate final, so that winner will be taking home a belt. Our second fight, Keith Mosley out of Boyce WPAL Gymnasium at 138 pounds. He'll be taking on Anthony Shook after WPAL Gloria's Boxing Gym. In our third bout out in the cadet quarterfinal, we have Keon Kite. He'll be taking on Peter Sweeney in the 114-pound weight class. We then move to Angelo Volamino out of Star Status Gymnasium, taking on Keith Young out of Jack's Gym, 125 pounds. Our next fight is the cadet quarterfinal. Kevin Weinheimer out of South Park Gym. He'll be taking on Austin Dietka out of Castle Boxing. And then in our sixth bout at 152 pounds, Will Brooks in the sub-novice quarterfinal taking on DeMarco Polk. After that, the sub-novice non-tournament fight at 155 pounds, Brandon Mahan taking on Elijah St. Pierre out of Penn State. Our next fight in the sub-novice quarterfinal, Brandon Pendleton at 132 pounds taking on Brett Rossif-Verbit. And in our final fight, the main card of the evening, LaRon Roxamore taking on Brandon Walkins out of Castle Boxing at 152 pounds. So they're introducing the boxers here live from the Western Pennsylvania. Golden Gloves Boxing will take it to those introductions and bring you right back to the action here on the Roxamore Sports Network.
Angelo, Volamino, Star Status. Pierre, Sweeney, Boxing Gym. Brandon Walkins, Castle Boxing. Brett Rossif-Verbit, Penn State. Keon, Boxing Gym.
All right, let's give all these young men a big round of applause.
The Roxamore Sports Network starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you feel that? Tell me, can you feel that? You see it coming? Yeah, let me help you with your vision, they losing their sight here. Time to send the world a message they might hear. Like Meek Mills, I'm making it quite clear. I'm chasing my dreams and fighting my nightmares. I'm going real hard, I'm talking words you understand, I'm talking real bars. I'm going everywhere you know, I'm talking real far. Yeah, it's time to raise a toast to this thing to the Lord the most. As I go from coast to coast, I'm talking north side, I'm talking south side, I'm talking east side, I'm talking west side. I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, it's time to let you know how I spit it when I flow. When I go and light a fuse and I set to let it blow. I'm talking worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, time to check my status and the GOAT is what it be. And you know I'm over 30, so my level is a G. And I may be from the hood, but I'm way beyond these streets. And my pockets hate a diet, so they always down to eat. Even though they screaming fame, and it's always spelling me. And I'll never hang it up till my mission is complete. And I'm looking at you haters, I suggest you take a seat. Cause it's all fun and games to a killer show his teeth. This is for them cats that be screaming homies. Claiming that you're real, but we know you're phony. Now I'm chillin' with my sons, they my one and only. Like the Triller brothers, yeah, we screaming lions only. Step into this den, I welcome all who will dare. Never met a David, tell me whom shall I fear? Gotta rep the nation, black and gold is what I wear. If you look to your left, to your right, I'm everywhere. I'm talking north side, I'm talking south side, I'm talking east side, I'm talking west side. I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, it's time to let you know how I spit it when I flow. When I go and light a fuse and I set to let it.
For this moment to step up here. So we ask you to do your part. We ask you to cheer them on. We ask you to cheer on your favorite boxer loud. Cheer them on very proud. I please ask you to keep it G.
We welcome you back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Roxamore Sports Network. Travis Newton here live on the call through the 10 bouts of action here from the Western Pennsylvania Golden Gloves, brought to you by the Western Pennsylvania Police Athletic League here Saturday, February 29th from the Monroeville Mall, as we're getting the introductions for the fighters here this evening.
We want to keep our fighters safe this evening.
Getting ready to get things started.
No flash photography, no...
Once again, Travis Newton with Johnny Spell. Johnny, thanks for joining us today. Hopefully we get some pretty good fights as we get started here with our first fight.
After the match, you want to go back and take a look at it. We have Roxamore Sports Network. One of the sponsors back here. They'll be having everything on their YouTube channel, on their Facebook page, and on the web. You can go back. It'll be actually being broadcast live right now, and there will be
So once again, we'll introduce our first bout of the day. Niko Province in the red corner out of Gold Medal Gymnasium. He'll be taking on Lyle Rodriguez out of Center Ave WPAL Gymnasium in the blue corner, 101 pounds, and we're now being joined by Hiawatha Hudson. Last Saturday, you started out in the corner of an athlete, of course, X getting the win, and a little bit of a different story here. Now you're going to be in the final fight.
Yes, I figure I come here, do the broadcast, and then we go in the ring and take care of business after that.
So we're getting ready to take a moment of silence here real quick. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Today we have a lot of representation from the Allegheny County Police, and we do.
So we're getting ready for the first fight here. Once again, Travis Newton alongside professional boxer Johnny Spell and Hiawatha Hudson. Johnny, you're kind of semi-fresh into your professional boxing career, just 2 fights in, but already 2 wins. Tell me what your transition's been from going from this amateur boxing and Golden Gloves and other fights like that, and then going into the professional level.
I think we're going to get started now with our first round,
things
Mike.
I've been doing is
We'll be back in to talk with everybody and our
the
chief
amateurs, you don't
official.
really want to take your amateur
All
career
right,
with
now
you to the
all
pros.
formalities
You
are
really
over.
have fresh start, so it's
Let me
really
call
about
to the
focusing
ring
on
our
what you
first
are heading
boxers,
towards
Keith
and getting away from
Anthony.
the amateur background, but always standing on what you did in the amateurs. Definitely one of the biggest tournaments in the amateurs was the Golden Gloves.
So we're getting started here. The first bout of the day, Niko Province taking on Lyle Rodriguez. This will be the lightest weight class of the day. For the intermediate final, they'll be weighing in at 101 pounds.
Yeah, I like it. One of my gyms, Center Avenue and 3rd Avenue.
So
All right,
Hiawatha,
let me
what are you
introduce our
expecting
first
early
two
on from this
boxers
first
of the
fight of
evening.
the day here from
Fighting
Golden
in the
Gloves?
138 pound
Well,
cadet
the kid
quarterfinal.
out of the red corner, I
Those little guys.
actually know him. He's
In the
out of
red
the same
corner,
gym,
boxing
boys.
out of Bruce
I know he's put the work
Keith
in, and I know he has a lot of endurance. So what this would be his first fight, but he's been in the
And his
gym for
opponent,
years. So I'm
fighting
looking for a great
Monroeville
performance out of
Boxing
him.
Gym, Anthony Shook. Good luck, guys.
So we'll actually be switching things up here. Instead of that first fight, we're moving to the cadet quarterfinal with Keith Mosley taking on Anthony Shook at 138 pounds. So already a little bit of drama before the gloves even start knocking as we get 2 fresh fighters in here. And here we go, bell rings, and we got live boxing on the Roxamore Sports Network. And right away, a nice left hand there by Keith Mosley, catching him right on the face.
One thing I love about the amateurs, fast pace. It's fast pace, unlike the professionals.
And already, we'll see if they're giving him the knockdown here. They will.
I'm pretty sure he's going to take it. He's going to take it there, try to push up on him.
So Keith Mosley already coming up, like you mentioned, fast pace, got a left hand, and then knocked him down with the right. So now a little bit more composure.
Yep. He's staying calm. He sees that it's not going to be as easy as he thought. He's going thinking smart, being patient.
And Hiawatha, what are you seeing from these 2 fighters early on?
The one good thing is that he's not going like all out right now for the stoppage. Is now he's back to boxing, just basically taking his time. And to me, that shows me that he has a lot of poise. And the thing, like I said, he has a lot of gym reps. He just don't have any fights yet. So right now it's just showing that he has that poise in the ring.
And a packed house here at the Monroeville Mall, but a silent crowd as we get a little bit of noise, but you could hear a pin drop in here to start the fight.
Yeah, it's a pretty focused fight. Everybody's focusing on this fight.
You can get that here in the first fight of the night. Also, the first round, a little bit of jitters, as Hiawatha mentioned, the first fight of the career for Keith Mosley.
Yeah, Keith Mosley's doing pretty good walking down his opponent.
Anthony Shook, once again in the blue corner, trying to work some combinations there. As we have 10 seconds left here in the opening round of the opening fight from Pennsylvania Golden Gloves. And definitely got to give that first round to Keith Mosley. What were you liking there in the first round out of Mosley and his fighting style?
The first round, he was being real patient, being real smart. It's getting hit, not getting hit. He been using his feet. He been trying to wear down his opponent. He got his opponent right where he wanted him, and he's going to go into the second round, finish looking to continue what he started. So he definitely been real impressive in his first round, staying focused and trying to wear down his opponent.
And during the break, the announcer telling the fans, get into it. These guys need a little bit of motivation here. A quiet first round, as we mentioned. In Hiawatha, you need a little bit of enthusiasm when you're in the ring. Can you imagine boxing with it being that quiet?
Man, I tell you, like, I've never been in the ring that's been that quiet. But I'm sure Keith is having fun right now in there. Keith is a kid out of the red corner. And I'm glad, just being a part of seeing him in the gym, seeing the workout that he's been putting in and showing that everything is coming together for him. And I'm literally ecstatic right now watching Keith perform.
So we're here, second round action. Golden Gloves, a nice combination there out of Anthony Shook. And now we get some action here in the second round. Both fighters going at it, and the crowd comes alive.
Yes, it is. He's looking for the knockdown. He's looking to end this fight early.
And just looking at the style here for Keith Mosley, you can tell he is a young fighter. This is one of his first fights, but he has some nice skill sets that he can kind of back that game off, even though he's a rookie in the game.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, like I said, to me, it just shows you like how long he's been in the gym. So it's not so. I mean, Johnny, you know as well as I know, it's not so much of you actually had ring experience as in the actual bout itself, but when you've been in that ring before in the gym, yes, it's a lot different under the lights, but it's just showing you that he has that poise, he has that time, those reps in that gym that he need for this performance right here.
Yes, he's definitely taking what he's been doing in the gym into this ring right now. Looking real impressive. And it's definitely about what you do in the gym before you get in this ring on a big stage.
So second round here, Mosley definitely with the momentum in the blue corner is telling their athlete give him pressure, as he's been pretty lackadaisical early on in this fight. Of course, 3 rounds here in the Pennsylvania Golden Gloves boxing, so we're past the halfway point. Mosley trying to wrap him up. And we'll get a timeout here as we have 10 seconds in the round. No.
I'm real familiar with that situation. Going to the doctors. He has to go to the doctor to get his nose looked at because he has a real bad bloody nose.
So we'll have a stoppage in time here. Johnny, let's talk a little bit. Like we mentioned earlier, you've had 2 fights in your professional career, got wins in both of those with TKOs. You got another fight coming up here in the South Side. Walk me through what your training process has been going into that fight.
It always starts with running. Always starts with getting my conditioning together, eating right. I had to drop a lot of weight for this fight. I'm going down to my natural weight at 126, so it's been a lot of good preparation.
So after the stoppage in action to fix that bloody nose, the bell will ring and in the second round. So a pretty obvious advantage through 2 rounds for Keith Mosley. In Hiawatha, Anthony Shook, he has a bloody nose. What do you need to see him do in this final round to get a little bit of momentum going on his side?
Well, the thing, he's going to have to back Keith up. But I don't see it happening right now because Keith is putting a lot of pressure on him. But, I mean, now what this is going to show me is the stamina. Do Keith have the stamina to keep it up? So it looked like during that break, he motioned that his shoulder was was bothering him out there. So, I mean, and that has been a factor in the gym, the shoulder. So he motioned that in the corner just now. But hopefully the kid out of the blue corner If he can put on a lot of pressure right now, as you just saw, he was winding that right arm up just now. Yeah. So right now the kid, he's gotta apply pressure and be aggressive, but it got to be effective. You know what I mean? So it has to be effective aggressiveness that he has to put on with Keith right now.
So we'll see if Mosley can get through this round with a little bit of discomfort in that shoulder, and he looks just fine here coming out of the bell.
Yes, I give it to Anthony Shook. He's not backing down.
3 left hands in a row from Mosley after a barrage of punches by Shook. Shook doing a good job fighting through that blood on the nose. And he's, like you mentioned, definitely not backing down here in this final round.
Yes. He's proven us wrong with backing him down, like we said.
Kind of skirting under the punch and trying to deliver a left there was Mosley. Both fighters separate now. And haven't seen too many body shots from either of these fighters. Mosley trying to work a body shot there, but wasn't very successful on the connection.
I tell you, the thing I'm looking at right now is, as you can see, Keith is fighting in spurts, and the kid out of the blue corner is not pressing him, but because every time he comes forward, Keith would turn it up, then Keith would go back into relaxing, because you can tell he's not throwing that right much at all.
Oh,
so
oh my God, it's getting stopped.
Like right there, that's just throwing that big left, and I'm telling you, and it's hitting the mark. So he may get a stoppage for his first fight.
We're going to get a standing 8 count here.
Yes, I don't see this going farther.
For Anthony Shook. And they're going to call it. It will be a TKO victory for Keith Mosley. So his first fight, getting a big win with the TKO.
Yes, I mean, that was a great fight. I'm super proud for this kid because, like I said, he was in the gym. He's been in the gym for years. He just never had a fight. And I mean, I'm just looking at him. You can see the excitement in his face, and I mean, I'm just proud of him tonight.
So before we get the final ruling, we'd like to introduce you to our sponsor, Wilson's Night Out. Come to Wilson's Night Out, not just for a night out, but for an experience of Caribbean cuisine. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. with specialty drinks. Looking for that certain room to host parties, meetings, social events, receptions, repast, and more. Wilson's Night Out is the place to be. So, Johnny, we're one fight in, got a TKO there for Keith Mosley. What did you like there in that first fight?
The Coleman kid stayed active. He just showed that he's ready for the next level. He's trying to improve. I give it to the Anthony Shook kid. He did not back down. He stayed in the fight the whole time. But the Keith kid put on the show. He did what he was supposed to do. He got the fight done early, and he's going to the next level.
So once again, they announced Keith Mosley as the winner.
For a lot of time, and give them both a big round of applause.
So our next fight coming up, we have Keon Kite out of 3rd Ave WPAL Gymnasium at 114 pounds. He'll be taking on Peter Sweeney. But before we get there, Hiawatha Boys Gymnasium. Last weekend, we saw a big win out of X. X gonna give it to you. This weekend, on the opening fight, we get another win out of Boys Gymnasium. How do you attest to your athletes and the work they've been doing that shows the results here at at Golden Gloves Boxing?
Well, I look at it. I mean, it just shows you. I look at it right now. Boys is hot. I mean, we got a lot of good fighters coming out of the gym right now. I mean, me and Coach Rick, we're the main 2 coaches there. We talk all the time, talk about just how excited we are to see these guys perform at this level now. I mean, like I said, I mean, you just got to take your hat off to the work that they put in the gym for it all to be displayed out here. I mean, I'm just proud of the kids. I mean, we have 2 young kids that got their first win. And, you know, I look at it, I can't wait to get back to the gym on Monday because we know it's going to be rocking.
And, Johnny, for the fans at home, what can you tell about the camaraderie being associated with a specific gym and how you kind of stick together with those guys as you see them every day in the gymnasium?
Yeah, it's a strong unit down there. Everybody's willing to learn and everybody's willing to tell what they can to give every kid in there hope and advice.
All right, let me
Every kid
introduce
from
the
the gym
boxers.
came up to me before their fights
Boxing
today,
out of the red
asked for
corner
advice.
from
We stick
Third
together, you know,
Avenue
and the system's
Keon,
strong, so
Kite.
they're going to come out and prove that Third Avenue has a lot of talent.
Boxing out of
So our
Jack's Gym in
second
the
bout
blue
of the
corner,
day,
Peter
Keon
Sweeney.
Kite out of 3rd Ave, taking on Peter Sweeney, who will be in the blue corner out of Jack's Gym. Once again, this fight is at 114 pounds after our opening bout resulted in a TKO. The winner, Keith Mosley out of Boyce Gymnasium. We'd like to thank all of you for joining us here on the Roxamore Sports Network for Pennsylvania Golden Gloves Boxing, live from the Monroeville Mall. And here we go, fight number 2. Once again, fast action, a nice left hook there, catches on the face, and another one with the right. And right now, Keon Kite in the red corner is just eating punches here in this first round.
Yes, this is a real active fight, starting off just like the last fight. Fast pace. That's one thing I love about the amateurs. Like I said in the last fight, they start off fast. You only have 3 rounds.
Now Keon Kite landing some punches. And you talked about how these fights, only 3 rounds, fast pace. Tell me how your attack kind of changes as you get more and more rounds as you move to professional boxing.
Yeah, you're a professional. You cannot go into the professionals with the amateur mindset and rounds and time. It's way different. It's a better point system, so you have to go out there and be patient. Hit and not get hit in the pros is very important in the pros. So you can.
Neither of these fighters holding back here as we have another tie-up on the ropes trying to get out of it is Keon Kite.
I tell you, Keon is actually coming on, and like on the second half of this round. It seemed like he may have edged that out. You know what I mean, with that push in the second half of that round there. What do you think, Johnny? How you feel about that?
That was a very tough round. I could have went either way. I feel like it could go either way, but if I'm the judges, I'm edging the red corner. It looked like he put on a little bit more aggressive performance.
So while we have the break in time here between rounds, we'd like to introduce our sponsor, Steel City Kickers. Steel City Kickers, the largest all-female kickball league in Western PA, and its historic 5th season, women-led and driven, empowering women among several communities, providing a healthy lifestyle through exercise. We are looking for women over 18 years of age to join our league. For more information, call 412-759-4904 as we get ready for the second round here from the Pennsylvania Golden Gloves Boxing. Once again, this is Keon Kite in the red corner, taking on Peter Sweeney in the blue corner. And like these 2 boxing icons alongside me today mentioned, it was a tight round in that first one. Keon Kite was eating punches early in the first round, but he made a little bit of a momentum swing there halfway through the round and landed some nice punches as well that definitely got him back into it. And so far, Hiawatha Hudson not a judge, but last weekend he had a perfect score, guessing all the fight winners correctly. With an exception, I'm going to have to call you out on this one with the Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight. A little bit off on that one, but we won't hold it against you.
Yeah, that was a tough fight last week with Deontay Wilder. I mean, it just shows me Tyson Fury had put the work in. You know what I mean? He said what he was going to do. He did exactly what he said. So, I mean, I just look at it. Deontay Wilder, he has to go back to the drawing board. You know what I mean? Put his big boy trousers back on, get back in there, and see if he can land that big right hand. I mean, if he can't land it, I think it's going to happen the way that it did last Saturday. But if he do land it, I can promise you it'll be a game changer.
And maybe not wear a 50-pound diamond suit as well. Of course, he was saying it kind of tired it out his legs in that fight, which there may be a little validity to that excuse, but either way, he came out and Tyson Fury got the big win. So second round, a lot of action once again. Very little defense there in that second round, but we'd also like to introduce the Hill District Federal Credit Union. The Hill District Federal Credit Union has serviced the community for almost 50 years. Our purpose is to improve the financial health of our members so that we are not just surviving, but thriving. For information on how to become a member, stop in at 2021 Center Avenue, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or give us a call at 412-281-0822. So, Johnny, we're 2 rounds in, 1 more to go. Who do you think needs to make up the more ground here in this final round to get a win?
I can't really pick and choose on which corner because both of them have a tough. It can go either way right now. I feel like they're going to edge it in the blue corner, but you don't ever think like that. This is a tough fight, and both fighters need to pick up the pace. Both fighters need to try to win this round. And
Keon, Kite, a nice combination, connecting, almost drops Sweeney. Stays on his feet, but you can tell he's definitely hurt after that round of hits.
Yes, he's doing the right thing. He's picking up the pace. He's making it tough on the blue corner.
Yes, and I think Keon, he started to separate himself from, started to separate himself skill-wise in this first half of this round here. So hopefully he can keep that onslaught up right now. If he can keep that going, I think he has a win. It's just he has to right now. I mean, you know as well as I know, Johnny. At this level right now, and sometimes you want to pick it up. You mash on the gas. And now, at the end of the fight, you don't have anything left. Oh. So, I just think he needs to just keep doing what he's doing right now, but save a little bit in the tank for later.
Yes, he's going to need to pick it up. This is a good fight. I really don't know who in my mind who's winning this fight right now, but it's a good call. I feel like it can go either way. But Keon picked it up in this round. I feel like Keon can win this round.
And Sweeney, after taking some blows, he's not backing down, staying right in this fight and both delivering punches straight to the end. As we're now going to be joined by Keith Mosley. So Keith, your first fight ever. Tell me what was going through your mind when you step in the ring.
I was a little nervous. I just tuned out everything, listened to music, and I was just trying to hope not my shoulder got messed up. And I was just fighting through, listening to my coaches, and see what they had in place for me.
We did see a little bit discomfort in your shoulder there. We saw you trying to work it out. How did you respond through the shoulder injury and come out with the win?
I just used it just to block, parry, everything else. Like, I might throw it out there every once in a while, but I just start using my cross, just to power through.
All right. Once again, we're here with the winner of the opening bout, Keith Mosley, in the 101-pound weight class. Keith, thanks for joining us, and good luck with the rest of your fighting career.
For our next presenters,
I just want to congratulate you.
Is going to be representing the Allegheny County Police Department, who's been involved with Pal for probably longer than I've been alive.
Well, thank you, Keith. We'll be right back here on the Roxamore Sports Network with fight number 3. Stay tuned.
We have Scott Shear and Brian Wilkesmore. Brian's with me up in the ring, and then for Scott, we have James and Tyson here. They're going to be presenting the medals.
They didn't announce it yet.
So once again, we are going to the decision here for fight number 2. Keon Kite taking on Pierre Sweeney in the 114-pound weight class in the intermediate semifinal, as we are going to the decision. We'll see what it is here. Johnny, you said you don't know who the winner was. It was a very tight fight.
I'm going to exit with the blue corner.
All right,
edging with the blue corner. Hiawatha, how about you?
I'm going to go with the red corner on this.
After 3 rounds, we have
I'm with you in the red
decision.
corner, so we'll see.
With the winner, boxing out of the red corner, Keon.
There we go.
Nice call.
All right, let's give both these guys a big round of applause.
That's a nice call. I know it was gonna be. I know it was Edge. I know they was gonna make it a tie, and I didn't know who they was gonna choose at the end. That was a tough one.
Yeah, that was pretty tough there. I mean, the only reason I gave it to him because I say the first round I gave to the blue corner. The second round was kind of a toss-up.
All right, let's give these two young
but
guys
he
a
came
applause
on kind of
and thank
strong in that
our
second
Allegheny
half.
County Police
And then the
that,
third round, I think he won the third round.
Help protect us and every day.
So like we said, a close call there in the second bout, but Keon Kite out of 3rd Ave WPAL Gymnasium getting the big win.
Yeah, he impressed me. He pulled off the close one. It was nice. I congratulate him. He's definitely ready for another fight.
So before our next fight, we're going to go ahead and take it to a short commercial break. We'll be right back with live action here on the Roxamore Sports Network.
That was a tough fight right there.
Well, we're getting ready
Again,
for a fight
now
with
this next
Sweeney
fight
LaRon.
that's coming up, like
You see a lot of people around
I
here
know
with
the trainer
Golden
Steve
Glove
Upshaw,
shirts.
and
There
I
are
know
referees
Steve
and/or
has a
judges
lot
and
of
their
technical
timekeepers.
fighters that
I'd like
he
everyone to
coaches
please
over
give a big
there.
round of applause.
Actually, me and
We're
Steve
first
coaches
and foremost, keep our
Luella.
boxers safe.
Like he's the head
And
coach. I'm
second,
the second in command.
judge
But I
fairly
mean, it's
and
like
let
when
the winner
Lou
prevail.
goes over to his gym, and then he comes over to ours. He's not getting anything
All
different
right, our third bout
from what we've been doing.
125
But
pound cadet semifinal.
I just like the way that Steve trains,
Boxing out
and
of
the way
red
that
corner
he
from
does
Star Status
everything
Gym,
from the
Angelo,
conditioning to
Volamino.
even the placement of the punches. I mean, and I think we complement each
And
other.
his opponent,
So I mean,
boxing
I'm
out of the
looking
blue
forward to see
corner
this
from
kid
Jack's
fight.
Gym, Keith Young. Good luck, gentlemen.
So we'll introduce you to the fighters here in the third bout of the day. In the red quarter, we have Angelo Volamino out of Star Status Gymnasium. He'll be taking on Keith Young out of Jack's Gym at 125 pounds here in the cadet semifinal.
This is going to be an impressive fight. We've been saying fight started fast all day, so I'm expecting to see it now.
Here we go once again. 125 pounds, Angelo Volamino and Keith Young. Nice right hand there by Volamino. And we see here Keith Young with a height advantage, also has a little bit of a reach advantage. What can you tell me about how that can help out a fighter, or even be a something that hurts a fighter?
Something that's going to help you is being able to get in and out of the way when you got a guy taller than you. You want to be able to move. You want to be able to stay on your toes. You don't want to sit right in front of his jab. And the only thing that's going to hurt the fighter with all the reach is not being able to get his hands there and back fast enough. So the guy that's with the shorter reach should be trying to attack Pete and his punch back to the face. So as he's doing right now, I see he's beating the guy's punches back to his face. The guy's reaching. The guy in the red corner is pitting the punches there. Every time he catches him, move his hand away from his face.
And Keith Young using those long arms, caught him with a left hook. It definitely stunned Volamino a little bit.
Yes, and as you can see, he's staying away a little bit right now. I mean, I think it's just to get his wits about him, get everything back in order. But the big thing is he's running around the ring. He keeps dropping his hands for some reason. I don't, and I know that ain't something that Steve is teaching him. It's just something that he's doing. I don't know why. I don't know if he's nervous or he just trying to get out of the way at any way possible. But every time he pulls out, he drops his hands. So what do you think about that, Johnny?
Yeah, that's a bad habit to have. I done stopped a lot of opponents. I done got rid of a lot of people that drops their hands after they move out. It's very dangerous, and he wants to fix that problem. He wants to fix that problem. That was a good round. After one round in, I'm giving it to the blue corner. So I feel like he kept his distance, uses size and length to his advantage. And
so definitely a good round there for the blue corner. Came out punching hard, landed a couple of nice connections there on the right hook from Angelo Volamino as both heads to their corner and get ready for a second round.
Yeah, and I think right now the red corner, like he's going to have to do some feints to get in with that longer reach there.
Yes,
I mean, he has to feint to get him to bite on it, and so he can get in cleanly. But I don't know why. Like I said, it's just bothering me the fact that he keeps pulling out with his hands down. And I mean, like he got caught earlier with that big left. I mean, he needs to keep those hands up to those ears. You need to put on them earmuffs right now.
And the coach in the red corner there relaying that message during the break, telling him to keep his hands up whenever he goes inside. We'll see if he can make an adjustment here in the second round as both fighters tied up. They'll get separated and back to action. Another combination once again by Keon. And we're going to get a standing 8 count here for Angelo Volamino. Some of Volamino's fans not happy with that decision there. What do you think about it?
I felt like it was too easy. He could have let him kept going with one punch. That was a very big punch. I see why he stopped it, but he could have let it go. He caught himself.
And maybe that stoppage a good thing for Volamino as he comes out and lands a nice punch with the left.
To me, I look at it when you get hit with a big shot like that, and then here you get that standing 8. Sometimes that lights a little fire under you, because now you know you're in a fight. Like you got to come out and you got to show the ref that you still here and you still ready to fight. And I see him trying to press, but like it just seemed like he's getting like a little wild with everything right now. But again, it just could be nerves. I don't know, or it just could have been that big shot that landed and just woke him up.
Yes.
And you also know that standing 8 count it hurts your scorecard a little bit, so knowing you have some ground to make up. Volamino has responded nicely. So now both fighters tied up alongside the ropes.
Yes, this is a real aggressive fight.
10 seconds left here in round 2 of 3 from the Western Pennsylvania Golden Gloves Boxing. The fighters tied up once again, and they break it apart as the bell sounds, and we head to the third round after this quick break. But we'd like to introduce our sponsor, Cagers Custom Artwork. Get your custom logos and artwork done for your home or business with Cagers Custom Artwork. You can find him on Facebook at Cliff Cager or give him a call at 412-915-6873. So Hiawatha, we're 2 rounds in, 1 more to go. Who do you think has the advantage going into the final round?
Right now, I'm going to give that advantage to the blue corner, Jack's Gym. And I just look at it like the kid out of the red corner. Like he didn't feint at all coming out of there, because like I said, the kid out of the blue corner already has the reach. So therefore, you have to be careful with the pulling out. And then he's pulling out with his hands down. That's how he got caught in the second round with that hook. So hopefully he could bite down on his mouthpiece. And I would just tell him, look, you got to go get it now. You got to leave it all in the ring right now.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
You got to think that Angelo Volamino knows he's down 2 rounds, so he's going to need to land some serious punches here and possibly get a knockout or a TKO. Nice move there to go under that punch for Volamino.
He's picking the defense up, and that's smart.
We are seeing some nice body movement here from Angelo. But he's got to start throwing some punches. Defense isn't going to save him now.
I agree with that. Oh, that was a good left. He just caught. Again, he still has his hands down. Like that. That was another big right that he landed. And as you can see right now, he's getting fatigued because he's bending down right now. He's grabbing the kid below the waist.
Yeah, he's in a tough spot right now. He's definitely fatigued. He's trying to just stay. He's just in there to stay safe. He's just in there playing it safe now, which is not smart.
You can tell both fighters a little bit fatigued, a little bit less oomph on those punches by Keon.
He's backing out with his hands down. That's why he's getting caught with every single jab.
was a great right hand down the
Yes, it was.
down the middle there.
Yes, it was.
I thought that might would have caused
I think
a
he would have got an
steady
8 count, yes. He should have with that punch.
And the coach is in the red corner telling Volamino, you got to throw. It's like he doesn't have the urgency that he's behind, just not responding here in this third and final round.
Yeah.
I don't know if it so much was the urgency. I just think he didn't have anything left in the tank.
Yeah,
So we're going to go to a decision once again here in the third fight of the day. We'd like to remind you to keep it tuned in on the Roxamore Sports Network by following us on our social media. Of course, you can like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Instagram, and make sure you check us out on Twitter. You can download the Roxamore Events app and also visit our website at www.roxamoresports.com. So we're going to go to a short break and bring it right back. Interview with Keon Kite, the winner of the 114-pound cadet quarterfinal.
He's been a long-time sponsor here of the Golden Gloves and Police Athletic League. So let's give Tom a big round of applause.
So the camera's facing what way? This way?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Roxamore Sports Network here, the Golden Gloves, Western Pennsylvania Boxing. I'm here with Keon Kite. He just got a big win in the ring. Keon, talk me through the fight and what was going on for you in the first round.
Both these young men big round
In the
of
first
applause.
round, it was going good. I felt good, and I was just hitting them.
And you had the advantage throughout the fight. You could tell that you were ahead the entire time. What's it like boxing, knowing you're ahead? What are some of the steps you had to take to make sure you didn't give that lead away?
Well, my coach always says, when you hit him, if I stun him, go after him. And I stunned him, but I went after him the first time, but the second time I backed off.
All right, gentlemen.
All right, and Johnny, you have any questions
have
for
a
the coach or
unanimous
for
decision.
Keon?
Hey, what did you see out of your fighter that you liked tonight?
You know what, I got to tell you what, my guys are really lucky because, we fight at a gym where we've got great young pro fighters who are great role models. And our kids see how to fight every day, and they learn from Johnny Spell, they learn from Gerald, they learn from Cal Smith. So our kids in a great environment. They don't always listen to me, but they watch you guys.
I like the honor. I try to teach them and give them as much advice as you can. Good fight tonight, man. Keep it going.
And Keon, congratulations. We're going to take you back to the ring to announce the winner of the previous fight. We'll be right back here on the Roxamore Sports
They were
Network.
selling in the back of the room here, actually the front where you came in. First off, we have Lone Vision, Mr. Martin Kerr. Martin's a new sponsor with us this year.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Western Pennsylvania Golden Gloves Championship here live on the Roxamore Sports Network. Travis Newton alongside Johnny Spell and Hiawatha Hudson in the previous fight. The winner out of Jack's Gin, Keith Young at 125 pounds, the cadet semifinal, so he will be going to the final for the championship. Coming up next, we have the cadet quarterfinal at 132 pounds. In the red corner, we have Kevin Weinheimer out of South Park Gymnasium. And in the blue corner, Austin Dietke out of Castle Boxing.
been a real
All right, let me introduce
aggressive night. So hopefully we get to walk into this round seeing a lot of action.
Boxing in 132
We'd like to remind you of the main event here tonight. It's going to be the 152 pounds open semifinal with LaRon, the Lion Roxamore out of Boyce Gymnasium, and he'll be taking on Brandon Walkins. So Hiawatha, obviously you're going to be in the corner of LaRon Roxamore. How have you seen him getting ready for this fight and geared up for get back into the ring?
Well, I mean, he's just been putting the work in right now. You know what I mean? Trying to get a little more technical than he has been. I mean, just right now, I just want him to stay calm, stay poised right now. And when he comes out tonight, I mean, I'm looking for a good performance because we've actually put a little game plan together. But you know as well as I know, Johnny, sometimes the game plan go out the window when you get hit. You know, so but the thing is staying poised enough to keep that game plan there and just going off of what we've worked on. So I look at it, if we go off of what we worked on, I see a victory tonight.
And as you know, LaRon went to the last chance qualifier trying to find a spot on the Olympic team. He fell short there, but what do you think he learned from that fight or those two fights and how he can use that now moving on to further into his amateur boxing career?
Yes, I think, I mean, you know as well as I do, Johnny, on this, is just having fights, just getting fights, getting more experience. It gets you, it gets you ready for the next steps, ready for the next fights. And I mean, and it's just in this amateur rank, it's all about just getting fights in, getting comfortable, being relaxed, and that comes with having so many fights. I mean, I don't know. I forget how many fights did you actually have, Johnny, as an amateur?
The amateur, I had about 90. I had almost 100 fights in the amateur, so it was a very long career. It's about your fights, but it's about a lot of them fights I got was the experience one. That's the one I really liked. All my experience fights when I learned, I met a lot of good people, got a lot of good advice out of some of them fights. So definitely getting in there and trying to get experience, going to these tournaments like he's been doing. Going to Atlanta, he went to the Sugarbird national tournament down there. I was happy for him when he came to me for advice because I won that tournament. So it was just getting as much experience as you can, get you ready for anything. So.
As we bring you back to the action, once again, Kevin Weinheimer taking on Austin Dietke at 132 pounds to cadet quarterfinal, and it's been a pretty even match so far.
There's been a lot of brawling throughout the Golden Glove today. I'm feeling a little like the generations changed a little bit. I know you got to stay active, but some of these guys got to get to the Boston, got to get the hitting and not getting hit. But I'm still impressed with some of these guys staying active, being able to go to all 3 rounds this active, let me know they're in a lot of good shape, and are trying to get their opponent out early. But I would like to see some more Boston out of some of these fighters.
So here during the break, once again, we'd like to introduce you to our sponsor, Steel City Kickers. The Steel City Kickers are the largest all-female kickball league in Western Pennsylvania, and their historic 5th season. Women-led and driven, empowering women among several communities, providing a healthy lifestyle through exercise. They're looking for women over 18 years of age to join their league. For more information, call 412-759-4904.
One thing I would like to add to what you said, Johnny. The thing too, man, I look at it, watching your fights in the amateurs and watching how you was coming up. I mean, like your skill level was pretty high from I mean, I'm not saying from the very first fight, but your skill. I mean, could you just tell some of the listeners out there some of the things you did to tighten your game up?
Yes, I try to perfect my craft every day. I was in the gym every day. I listened to my trainer, which was my dad. Not only did I listen to my trainer, I went to a lot of different trainers as Teddy, Darren Dolby, Steve, you yourself being a coach and giving me a lot of advice. So I've been taking in a lot, and I sparred. I got good at sparring. I never sparred my level, like people on my level. I always sparred more experienced guys. That's the only way you can get more experience is by sparring more experienced guys. You can't go into sparring always winning and beating people up. And that's one reason why I started off at a fast pace. I beat Matt Conway when I was 5 fights in, and he had 90-something fights or 100 and something fights. So it wasn't about how many fights we had. It was about me getting all the experience I can to get ready for guys with experience. So.
And Keith Weinheimer is taking a beating here in the second round. His face is bloody. My apologies, it's actually Austin Dietke that's taking a beating here. Kevin Weinheimer in the red corner, landing some solid punches, and the referee looks like he's about to end this one. The second standing 8 count of the round.
There have been a lot of standing 8 counts today. I like it.
Yeah, it makes for some exciting boxing.
Yeah, every fight had a standing 8 count. That's impressive.
And the referee is going to call it, so a TKO. The winner, Kevin Weinheimer out of South Park Gymnasium. So he was raining the punches on, and just a little bit too much for the referee. He had to call it there.
Definitely, that was a great stoppage. I mean, the kid was he was taking a lot of punishment towards the end of that round, and you could see out of the red corner, his confidence was up. He was landing everything that he was throwing. So, I mean, I look at it like you got a lot of people that has problems with these stoppages. I look at it like this. I'd rather stop it too early than to stop it too late. Yes. I mean, let it to where these kids, they have another day to fight. You know what I mean?
Gym right over here in Plum Borough.
And to that point, Johnny was just talking about how he had close to 90 fights in the amateur division. And for some of these fighters, they're going to be fighting the same amount of fights, so it's good. They're young. Don't let them take too much damage here in these fights that, when it comes down to it, aren't that meaningful.
Yes. You were supposed to hit and not get hit. That's one reason why, because the amateurs is a long career. It's longer than your pro career. You go into pros, you're not getting to 100 fights no more. It's not like that. In the amateurs, you got to go almost 80 to 90 fights to get a lot of experience to go into the pros with a decent amount of experience to take off in the professional level. So you don't want to get hit a lot because you got almost a mandatory 50 fights, and you don't want to be getting hit in all them fights.
And that takes us to a smooth transition here to talk about, you mentioned all the fights you had as an amateur, and of course you've had 2 fights as a professional. Yes. Do you like it or not like it that you're not fighting at the same rate, but the fights obviously mean more at the professional level?
I like the professionals. It's been way more impressive to me than the amateurs was. I love the amateurs. I did a lot. I accomplished a lot. I missed this level right here. It taught me a lot that when I get to the pros, a lot of things I do in the professional level right now, the amateurs taught me. So it's been a good experience in the amateurs. You always take from what you got here and try to take it to the pros and use it to your advantage. You know, it's a lot. You got to change styles. You got to learn. It's more studying than the pros. The pros is just more. It's just been my favorite career right now. Starting off, you get more attention, and you're looking forward to more. And every fight counts in the pros. And the amateurs is not like that. So every fight counts in the pros, and you're going after one belt. You know, you're trying to get to that belt, trying to be the greatest.
While we're waiting for our boxers to come up in their ring, don't forget about Roxamore Sports Network.
So we'll go ahead and talk a little bit here while we have a chance between fights. You mentioned earlier the impact your father had on your boxing career. Of course, he was an elite level boxer. What was it like growing up with a dad that was a boxer and kind of being in the gym with him, and how it was with your guys' relationship both in and outside of the ring?
Jeez, when I first started off, it was around when he was fighting, it was a good experience watching him. You know, I learned. I tried to pick up on everything he was doing. I was hitting the bag, trying to copy him. It was him being so focused, letting me see that he was that focused, how important he took it. You know, let me know it wasn't a game. You don't get into the sport, and it's not a game. It's a lifestyle. Boxing. You don't play boxing. And let me know that at a very young age that when I really choose this sport, it's not going to be something I'm doing like playing football or playing basketball. I'm going to be living boxing. So you let me know nice and clear.
Quarterfinal.
So we move now to our 5th bout of the day. We're halfway there. It's going to be the sub-novice quarterfinal at 152 pounds. Will Brooks out of 3rd Ave Gymnasium taking on DeMarco Polk out of the Erie Boxing Academy.
From 3rd Avenue,
I like this fight.
Will Brooks.
This is a fight to pay attention to. I like it. I think it's going to be real interesting. It's going to be like just like all the other fights. It's going to be a lot of banging. It's going to be interesting. I feel like this is going to be another 8 count stoppage. I see it.
So I guess he comes out of Third Ave, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you've been down there working out when this kid's been working out.
Yes, he's very aggressive. I like him. He pays attention to me. He tries to take a lot of things that I'm doing in. He lets me know that he's paying attention also. As you can see, he's been paying attention. He's using his head.
And you talk about how you're kind of an idol to some of these younger boxers in that gymnasium. Was there anyone whenever you were in the amateur reigns that you kind of looked up to, even not in your gymnasium, just in boxing in general?
Yes, we can start off with somebody that wasn't in my boxing organization in general, and I'm gonna say I looked up to Sergio Martinez and Floyd Mayweather. And when it comes to people that was around me that I looked up to, it was Francisco and Paz Petafora. I always looked up to Paz Petafora. He was always like a big model to me. That was my favorite boxer.
But looking at what the guys that you just mentioned that you look up to, just seeing you in the gym and seeing you spar and actually being at your fights. So that Mayweather, I can tell, I can tell you're preaching that hit and not get hit, and that is boxing. Yeah. But I look at your style. Your style is so calm, so smooth. Just watching you spar and I watch you spar a lot of big guys as well. Yeah. And you make them pay when they miss.
Yes.
It's like to me, it's like the deal. Like, okay, you are a lot bigger than me. Yeah. You may think you're more skilled than me, but you're not.
Yeah, exactly.
And I see how you draw guys in,
yeah.
And then you make them miss, yeah. And definitely make them pay.
Yes, that's the key. So every boxer I named is a big factor in that. So watching all them guys and watch how they did it, I tried to mimic it, and I'm actually turning into my own style. So it's getting very impressive for me. I ain't get to show the professional level yet, how interesting it's going to be, but it's coming. I feel like March 20th, I'm going to get to show a lot of talent. So
we are definitely looking forward to that. Once again, that'll be in the South Side, your third professional fight. While we have the chance here in between rounds, we'd like to introduce you to Worldwide. Make sure you get your copy today of the newly released single, Worldwide by Buna, in all digital stores for just $1. Go to Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, and more to get your copy today. So, Johnny, you were predicting a pretty fast-paced fight there. It's a little bit slower compared to some of our other fights coming out.
Yes. I didn't expect it to start off this slow, but they're actually trying to box. They're respecting each other's power, which is smart. So I think that's the reason why this fight is slowed down. They're respecting each other's power. They don't want to get hit.
So we get ready here for the start of the second round. Once again, this is our fifth bout of the day. The sub-novice corner final at 152 pounds. Will Brooks in the red corner and DeMarco Polk in the blue corner.
Hit and I get hit is what he's doing. Yes, he's staying real defensive. I'm liking the red corner in this fight.
So both fighters picking and choosing their spots here and now using that right hand.
Ooh,
just looking at the way they came out, I kind of know Coach Drew over there from Erie. And I can tell Coach Drew have actually told him try to control the fight with his jab, try to keep him at the end of his punches.
Yes.
But as you can see, Will is literally he's dipping down, he's coming under that jab to get inside. So this is interesting. I've seen these guys actually go through the game plan.
Reminding you to stay tuned at the conclusion of this second round as we'll have an interview with one of the previous winners.
Yes, Will has to get more active. He has to get more active. He reminds me of me at times.
So both fighters exchanging punches. Like we mentioned, a lot of defense here.
It's a big defensive fight.
Will Brooks continuing to put the punches on the body of DeMarco Polk. as they're going to break them up. Just 10 seconds here in this second round as we get ready to head to the final round here in the sub-novice quarterfinal. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Roxamore Sports Network. Travis Newton here with Kevin Weinheimer. Kevin, you came out fast and you kept landing punches there. Walk me through the fight.
Well, I came out with my hands down and I got hit a few times, so they gave me an 8 count. And then, got beat the first round. So I, knew the second round I had to come out stronger and just keep throwing the whole fight.
And what was your coach's advice taking you into that second round?
I got to make up for that first round. So he said just don't stop throwing punches.
And Johnny?
Yeah, I like the fight. You was focused in there. You didn't back down. That's number one thing. That was one thing you was thinking about in the ring, not backing down?
Yeah, I knew I couldn't back down. I had to keep going.
Yeah, it was a tough fight. Yeah, that was a good performance. Word of advice, keep going at, and work on more defense.
Yeah.
You was looking pretty good in there. I like the performance.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.
So once again, big shout out to Kevin Weinheimer. Good luck throughout the rest of your boxing career, and great job today.
Thank you. Good job, Chad. Thank you.
I see it, man.
So we head back now, the third and final round with the sub-novice quarterfinal. Will Brooks in the red corner taking on DeMarco Polk in the blue corner. Got some murmurs of a cheap shot there by DeMarco Polk. Referee telling him to keep it up. So Hiawatha will once again go to you as a nice right hand landed there by Brooks.
Very talented.
Obviously, amateur boxing, it takes tournaments like this to establish fighters. What do you like about the amateur boxing realm as it prepares fighters for that professional level?
I mean, I just like the fact that, just getting guys ready for that professional level. And just especially around here in Pittsburgh, I mean, a lot of the guys here, you kind of see like a pattern of how, I'm gonna start off with me not being from Pittsburgh, is coming here and seeing this amateur level and seeing a lot of the fighters have a pattern that they have here in Pittsburgh. But the thing is this, you got some of the fighters outside of you, Johnny, that don't really go out of Pittsburgh much. Yeah. So a lot of the style here is like, how can I put it? Yeah, it's like the similar, what I call the Pittsburgh jab, where everybody jabs hard and comes back and forward. Yeah. And look at that. I mean, things are changing slowly now because you got a lot of fighters that's going different areas, and they're starting to travel more. And so that's something that I really love seeing now, that the styles are starting to change up, and everybody's starting to go different places. Seeing boxing in a different light. And I look at it, and you got a lot of kids today, when they go to those other places, they see different styles. And Johnny, you know as well as I know now, especially in the pro game, styles make fights.
Yes, it does.
And you want to travel to see as many styles as you can. So when you get to that level, that nobody's coming at you with something that you never saw.
Exactly.
So and what I'm proud about now is that the fighters here are starting to do some traveling.
Yeah. Definitely. That's another way to get a lot of experience, because styles do make the game, and if you don't know the style and you get in there and not being familiar, you could get hurt.
Who's the president of the Allegheny Mountain?
And Hiawatha and myself have had this conversation a number of times.
He's been supporting this sport for a long time in this area, and he's done wonders to help these kids out. So let's give him a big round of applause.
It's had its ups and downs, but it's really starting to reemerge once again with a number of pros like yourself, of course, Llewellyn McClamey. What do you see the progression being like in Pittsburgh boxing?
I feel like I'm
Let's give these
idolizing a lot of people that want to turn pro. I feel like I'm a big look for people that want to turn pro now. A lot of amateurs are telling me, yeah, I want to just get to a certain amount of fights and turn pro. I see how good you're looking. So I'm really honored to be a guy that's getting a lot of people to turn pro. But our pro game is doing good right now. We got a lot of fighters signed. We got a lot of fighters getting active. Our shows is looking pretty decent.
Good job,
so
gentlemen.
I feel like it's picking up. I feel like we just got to keep the shows flowing. We got to do a little bit more promoting. And our shows could pick up and end up being some big shows. And, you know.
So as you see on your screen, Will Brooks getting the win by decision. A good fight by him. So you were predicting a knockout. We didn't see it as more of a strategic fight.
Yeah, they surprised me.
A good fight
yeah, they surprised me. It was a good fight. Definitely, they both definitely stayed away from the high action in the fight. They shot the box, so you know, be smart, hit and not get hit.
All right, while we're waiting for Brandon and Elijah to come to the ring, don't forget we have the 50-50 tickets coming around the room, and we have the.
We're here. This fight here. Well, I know this kid that's coming out right here out of the red corner. I know I think his name is Brandon, but his nickname we call him Bo. So I know this is his first fight, but I know he's been in the gym for a while now. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing him perform tonight. And basically, just to kind of, I guess, elaborate on the question that he had just asked you about how you see Pittsburgh boxing going. I mean, what do you think about now? How they used to see Philly as being like this mega hotbed. Like, what is your thought process about Philly and Pittsburgh now?
I feel like we need to have more fights against them, just like how it was in the amateurs. But we're catching up to Philly. I feel like we're progressing to be the hot city with the Boston. I feel like we're bringing fighters like me, myself, and Gerald, Keon. I feel like we're bringing a lot of attention here. And we're catching up Philly's attention.
Boxing out of the Boyce, WPAL gym.
We get to the point where we are going against Philly. We'll be the people to beat. I feel like Philly's not that big no more how they were. I feel like we just got bigger.
Elijah, St. Pierre.
With all the progression.
Yes, I agree on that. And I mean, just being on this coach's side and seeing everything, I mean, I'm glad that now when you announce, okay, you're fighting a fighter from Philly, your eyes don't get big. You know what I mean? It's like now, it's like, okay, you're looking forward for the challenge. You know what I mean? Like, well, Bo need to actually pick his hands up here. I mean, he's catching a lot of shots, but I'm looking at he's not moving his head. He's just coming in. Yes.
Big problem. He needs to move his head, put his hands up a little tighter, and don't walk towards the guy with your head in front of you. So.
Definitely, and if you, from this angle right here, you can kind of see that he has his head over his front knee, and that's bad. Yes.
Not a lot of people. You usually leave that up to the Mexicans to fight with their head in front of their legs. So without you having that type of experience or growing up in that tradition of fighting, you want to stick to the Pittsburgh regular American style. Put your head behind your legs. Your legs should be leading you, not your head.
Yes, and I agree with that.
So here in the sub-novice non-tournament fight at 155 pounds, Brandon Mahan out of Boyce Gymnasium taking on Elijah St. Pierre out of Penn State. We've already had a standing 8 count. Elijah St. Pierre coming out hot here in this first round, and it's showing there on the body of Mahan. It's coming out once again, first round here of the sub-novice non-tournament fight. Brandon Mahan in the red corner, and Elijah St. Pierre in the blue quarter out of Penn State. And already here in this first round, both fighters look a little bit fatigued.
Yeah, they're tired. They're throwing a lot of unnecessary punches. This is lesson learned for people. Watching all these fighters tonight, lesson learned.
So the end of the first round, Elijah St. Pierre with the advantage, getting that standing 8 count. Once again, we'd like to introduce you to our sponsor, Steel City Kickers. The Steel City Kickers are the largest all-female kickball league in Western PA. It's historic 5th season. It's a women-led and driven organization empowering women among several communities, providing a healthy lifestyle through exercise. They're looking for women over 18 years of age to join their league. For more information, call 412-759-4904. Once again, Travis Newton here alongside Johnny Spell, professional boxer coming out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So what'd you see in that first round out of this non-tournament fight?
It was a lot of action, like most of the fights been tonight. But they're getting fatigued early, so I want to see how they open up the second round, if they're going to calm down and rethink their process of how they want to finish this fight out.
And there in the later parts of that first round, we saw some slow punches, and if you keep yourself open that long, it definitely opens it up to get a good shot.
Oh, yeah, I see. It's continuing from the first round, but they picked up the speed after a little water break, so we're going to see how long they can keep this up.
We'll be joined by Will Brooks out of 3rd Ave Gym coming up at the end of this second round in the sub-novice non-tournament fight. So we'll see how Brandon Mahan can respond here. He's already been faced with a standing 8 count, and he got hit pretty hard here to start this second round by Elijah St. Pierre.
Yes, the blue corner is very shaky. He's trying to stay in there. He's staying tough. He's not backing down. So.
And a lot of fanfare here for both of these Foxers. It was getting pretty loud in the introduction, so 2 fighters that definitely draw a lot of attention by the crowd. And we're going to get another standing 8 count there. St. Pierre just raining the punches in. It looks like Brandon Mahan's struggling a little bit with that headgear.
Yeah.
And that's always an interesting conversation to have with fighters who go from amateur to pro. How nice is it to take that headgear off and really feel free as a fighter?
It feels good. At first you're a little scared because, you know, it's your protection. That's how you grew up off it. You grew up in amateurs believing in protect your head. So that protects you and keeps you from getting easy concussions. But going to the pros, it feels way better having more vision.
Brandon Mahan connects with the left hand. You can hear the fans here saying he's tired. Once again, at the end of the round, both fighters a little bit gassed. So Mahan, a little bit of a comeback here in the second round. We'll see if he has enough in the tank to finish this one off.
It flipped a little bit. Blue corner's picking it up on the red corner.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Roxamore Sports Network. I'm joined now by Will Brooks. Will, is a very even fight there at the beginning, and you kind of, as the fight progressed, kind of had your name come out as the winner. What was your method going in for this fight?
Just keep on pushing forward. When I get him on the ropes, just try to, give him a couple hooks to the body and stuff like that.
And during your fight, we were having the conversation. Of course, you guys work out in the same gym. What's it like seeing Johnny progress through amateur up to the professional level, and how do you kind of mimic your fighting style from his?
Just keep on pushing, man. Just keep on pushing.
Yeah.
Keep on pushing.
It was very impressive seeing you box. Being out of 3rd Ave, you guys seeing me and looking up to me and always trying to ask me for advice. You did a lot. You did good. Just hit and not get hit, which is smart. Thanks. So nice boxing. I look forward to seeing you again, man.
Thanks, man.
Once again, Will Brooks getting the win here on the Roxamore Sports Network. Will, you got a lot of potential. Keep working, man, and good luck throughout the rest of your career.
Thanks.
So we're back, 3rd and final round here in the sub-novice non-tournament fight at 155 pounds. Brandon Mahan out of Boyce Gymnasium against Elijah St. Pierre. And turning into a bit of a wrestling match here as they clinch and go into the ropes.
Yes, they're getting real frustrated. They want to pick it up.
And Elijah St. Pierre came into this in the first round and really dominated, but doing a good job of coming back in this one. Brandon Mahan, he's landed some solid punches here in the previous 2 rounds.
Yes, he is. He made an impressive comeback.
St. Pierre lands a nice right hand right on the chin of Mahan. And again, we see kind of the progression between the first half of the round and the second half of the round. Of course, in the first half, both fighters coming out ready to go. It slows down a little bit here in the second half of this final round.
Yeah.
We're seeing some very slow punches out of both fighters now.
Yeah, they are very fatigued. They're both trying to stay in this and get the win. So they both know it's not a big gap between this fight. So they're trying to close the gap. And
St. Pierre's got to be careful. He's taking some blows here in the final round. Yeah. Definitely making it going to be a tough decision for the judges here at the 155-pound weight class. And the fans are certainly into it. Right in front of us, we have some fans of Brandon Mahan.
Yes,
as the bell rings.
Hyped. Yes, they are very hyped for him.
And a good fight there. At 155 pounds, Brandon Mahan started out slow but found his groove in the last 2 rounds. Definitely going to make it a tough decision for today's judges.
Yes.
Officer Berry and Sergeant Rob, please come on up there, ring.
I don't know who I'm going to take. It was a very tough, close fight. I feel like it can go either way. It was a toss-up fight.
Say that St. Pierre was more consistent throughout the fight, but Brandon Mahan landed some nice punches. Definitely could have caught the attention of the judges. But it's going to go to the judges for decision, so we'll see who's going to get the win here, as we have just a few more fights left from the Western Pennsylvania Golden Gloves, brought to you by the Western Pennsylvania Police Athletic League. Coming up next, we have Brandon Pendleton taking on Brett Rossif Verbite. And then our last fight of the evening, LaRon the Lion Roxamore taking on Brandon Walkins at 152 pounds. So we'll now go to the judges' decision here.
Another round of applause. That was a phenomenal fight. 8-3 total round.
And I know you said you don't know who won, but if you had to pick, if you were a judge, who are you giving it to?
I'm going to go to the blue corner with this one.
I agree with you on that one.
Yes.
So we're both have our money on Elijah St. Pierre out of Penn State. We'll see if the judges agree.
All right, we have a decision. Ladies and gentlemen, based off of points, boxing out of the blue corner, Elijah St. Pierre from Penn State.
So will be St. Pierre getting the decision by points. So good job by Pierre. He started off extremely well. The fight kind of drifted away from him in the later rounds, but he did a good job not taking too many big hits and keeping his defense up while still landing a couple as well. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break here, a commercial break on the Roxamore Sports Network. We'll bring you right back to the live boxing action.
My name is Rick Manning. I started boxing when I was a kid, and I competed in the Golden Gloves. I started coaching boxing in probably late 90s. In 2000, we opened this gym, which is the 3rd Avenue Gym. We started, the scholarship was in 2012. How you qualify for it? We set a 3-fight policy, which, as long as you're registered for the USA Boxing, you're registered to compete, you're going to school, you're within this family. You're within the boxing family. Donations are made out to the WPAL, Western Pennsylvania Police Athletic League. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, so donations are tax deductible. Contact me on my cell phone, 412-965-0703, or you can reach me by email at manningrdm147@netscape.net.
Trouble can find anyone. At Frank Walker Law, we take the time to understand your situation and work tirelessly on your behalf. Hard-hitting representation when you need it the most. A real law firm getting real results.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Roxamore Sports Network, where we're here with Elijah St. Pierre. Elijah, you came out fast, but the fight kind of got away from you in the 2nd and 3rd round. What was your mindset going into those later rounds after taking a few punches?
Well, I was a little more confident than I should have been because it was clear to me that the first round went in my favor. However, I knew at this point that I could take a more strategic approach. No disrespect to my opponent, but I think that I had some sort of a strategic advantage. I knew I could kind of sit back and work it, but nonetheless, I do wish I would have maintained the pace. So that's something I'm going to be maintaining when I go into further practice. I'm going to be able to try to keep that pace up. Thanks for letting me know. Thanks for pointing that out to me.
And after that second round, after you take a few punches, what was your message from your coach going into the third and final round, knowing it could be a close call coming to the decision?
You know, to be perfectly honest, I couldn't hear a word my coach was saying. That's not something I was anticipating. I normally depend a lot on what he's saying in practice, but it's loud in here. I couldn't hear much at all. So honestly, I can't tell you.
Yeah, I like the performance, man. You did good. You boxing out of Penn State. I just heard. I said you look very good. It was a very impressive fight. I see you boxing out of Penn State. What's their main goal there? Or what do they? What's their strategy out of Penn State? And did you follow it tonight?
The strategy for Penn State boxing in particular, like what strategy are we taught? You know, that's very dependent on the the fighter. The coach knows that all fighters need different approaches to win, and so we all kind of have custom approaches. So I guess the overall Penn State approach is customizing how each fighter's going to go in. There's no one approach that we take.
So how did you look at your opponent tonight? What was your goal?
My goal was to use my superior reach and size advantage. I think that ended up working in my favor. But overall, you know, any game plan's good, but once you get punched in the face, the game plan's gone. So I just knew I had to adapt, and that's what I tried to do.
Very impressive. I like the fight. I'm looking forward to seeing you again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Once again, we're here with Elijah St. Pierre getting the win in the 155-pound weight class. Elijah, good job and good luck throughout the rest of your career.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back with the next fight here on the Roxamore Sports Network.
I'm very excited about seeing LaRon. I done seen him come a long way from when he first started out to spawn with me and getting to here today. I'm very surprised to see what he's going to do today.
Make her way to the ring.
He's a big fighter out of our city. He's doing good. He's improving every time I see him. I want to see what he's going to come out with tonight. I expect him to do big things in this ring right now.
Of course, all the knowledge of Hiawatha Hudson in his corner. Certainly a lot of boxing experience for that coach.
Yes.
So here we go. LaRon Rockymore taking on Brandon Walkins at 152 pounds.
Yes, this is a good fight. I want to see what LaRon's going to come out with.
All right.
He's a good boxer.
Our eighth bout of the evening is going to be 152-pound open semifinal.
So this is an open semifinal. LaRon the Lion Rockymore. And we talked earlier about his trip to the last chance qualifier, trying to find a spot on the Olympic team. Is that ever something that you wish to pursue?
Yes. Well, it's pretty much over now that I'm pro. But in the amateurs, yes, I pursued it a couple times. I was 5 fights away from making an Olympic team. So I went to the Olympic trials when I was 17. So I was very young and went to the Olympic trials and got 2 wins out of the Olympic trials. Working on my way to the Olympic team.
And obviously as a pro, holding the belt is the ultimate goal. Is making the Olympic team kind of the ultimate goal as an amateur?
Yep, and the amateurs, making the Olympics is like getting a WBO belt in the professionals. So it's very similar things. You want them was like the legendary things in the sport. You know, getting close to it or succeeding at them things make you legendary.
So here we go, 152 pounds open semifinal. LaRon the Lion Rockymore taking on Brandon Walkins. We talked about it a little bit earlier with Hiawatha. LaRon Rockymore, kind of new to the boxing game, just a few years in, but he came into boxing kind of with a skill set that made him fit in perfectly in the community.
Yeah, yes it did, and he's a very fast learner. So a couple years to me, seeing this kid, he been improving very fast. Not at an average improvement. He been improving like me. He reminds me of me. Real good with the boxing. He picks up every time he gets in the ring, and he puts it to the jogging board. Yeah.
And nearly scoring the knockdown there, and are they going to give it to him? They will not.
Yeah.
But a nice right hand there by LaRon Roxamore definitely stuns his opponent.
Yeah, that was a very impressive knockdown. I like it. He put the right hand right behind the jab, blinded him, waited for the guy to jump in, timing, good timing.
So already an advantage for LaRon Roxamore out of Boyce Gymnasium, WPAL. Trying to land a connection there, but got caught with the left of Walkins.
LaRon has to get out the corner. You got to stay off the ropes.
So this is the action we were expecting in 2 fights prior. Both fighters exchanging blows here.
Yeah. This guy's been very aggressive. LaRon's going to have to use his jab and use his feet.
And I'd like to see a little bit more movement here by LaRon. He's kind of catching himself in the corner there.
Yes, he is. He got to stay away from it. When he feels the ropes, he got to move. You feel the ropes, move. You feel the corner, move. And never go straight backwards.
LaRon answering back a little bit, but takes a couple shots. Now the referee having to separate the 2 fighters in the clinch. LaRon had big intentions with that right hand, just didn't secure the connection. We just heard from a member of the fan base here. He said these guys know how to fight, and you can tell they separate themselves skill-wise from some of the other boxers we've seen
yes, they do.
early on.
This is a very advanced fight from all the other fights. They're very experienced.
And LaRon there landing a nice right hand. And I've talked with LaRon many times as he's making his way to becoming a pro boxer, probably a year or 2 out from that. What would be your advice to the young man as he approaches to get to the level that you're at now?
Take notes on every experience level he gets in the amateurs. And when he gets to the pros, make sure he makes this. He changed everything he did in amateur, doubles. That's my biggest advice to an amateur. Everything you did in amateur is double when you get there.
So to start the first round, we saw a nice attack by LaRon Roxamore, but Brandon Walkins certainly not backing down. He's definitely a skilled boxer as well.
Yes, that was a very fair round.
You want one of those?
Round could go either way. That was a very good round.
Wave your hands.
So,
So we see Hiawatha Hudson having a conversation with his fighter in LaRon Roxamore. What do you think the message is after that first round?
I know what LaRon Trainer's saying right now. Specifically, he's telling him you gotta throw more than a 1 punch. You gotta move, and you cannot let him get you against the ropes. I know them are the 3 tips, 3 keys to LaRon's success, and I know that's what the trainer just put into his ear just now.
And we know LaRon, a superior athlete, definitely like to see him use his feet a little bit more here in the later rounds. Just a little bit stagnant in his approach there in the first round.
Yes, they're both coming out with confidence. So right now it's about who's going to take more confidence, who's going to load the other guy's confidence.
Once again, Brandon Walkins fighting out of the blue corner from Castle Boxing, and LaRon Roxamore in the red corner. And in that first round, we saw LaRon going backwards more than he was going forward. I'd like to see him get into the body of Walkins. It's a nice body shot by Walkins there.
Yeah, this round, LaRon got to back him up. He got to put the guy on his back leg. He started off like that.
Roxamore still living on the ropes there. Like to see him get to the middle.
He got to get off the ropes. He got to push this guy back.
Oh, and a nice 1-2 combination there by Roxamore.
This guy's fatigued. He's fatigued. LaRon has to see when he's fatigued and take it. He's letting him breathe instead of attacking every time the guy gets fatigued. Letting him catch his breath.
This is one of those fights I almost wish they had more than 3 rounds because 2 skilled boxers here. We want to see more of it.
We almost wish every fight was like this.
Round 2 of 3 from the Western Pennsylvania Golden Gloves Boxing. LaRon Roxamore and Brandon Walkins. LaRon took a shot to the face. And you can definitely tell he's feeling that body shot from earlier in the round.
Yeah, I can tell he's they're both getting fatigued. Yeah. They're tying each other up.
A couple of nice jabs there by Roxamore, making Walkins think about it. Now he has Walkins in the corner, and like you mentioned, both fighters gassed right now here in the late parts of this second round.
Ooh, it turned from a very skilled fight to a very fatigued, sloppy fight.
And it's amazing how it can kind of switch up just like that. We saw both fighters come out ready to go, hard punches, and now they're hitting a little bit lighter as a right hand by LaRon Roxamore settles on the face of Brandon Walkins.
That punch can change the whole fight. That punch can change the whole fight.
And we're seeing a little bit of swagger here now by LaRon. He knows what he just did with that right hand.
The momentum went into LaRon's corner. He got to take advantage of the momentum, and the momentum helps you. You got to use that momentum, take it, and finish this fight strong with it.
Another right hand by LaRon. Just 10 seconds left here in this second round, and both fighters giving it their all, even though there's nothing in the tank.
Yeah.
So the end of round two, some excitement here from Golden Gloves Boxing.
Yeah, this is the most attention we've seen all night with the fight. Everybody's into this fight. Everybody's giving this fight a lot of attention. So very exciting fight right now.
And we definitely saw some improvements there for LaRon in that second round. On the other side, Brandon Walkins, he took a hard hit. What do you think the message is from his coach going into this third round where it's anyone's fight?
It's time to fight. Can't take that punch and take it into this third round. Go into this third round clear-minded. Go into this third round knowing you're behind, or not knowing, but thinking you're behind. You fight this round like you're behind, and you need to get ahead. He's going to have to come out very aggressive. He's going to have to win this round for surely if he wants to make a change in this fight.
And for LaRon Roxamore, his alias, the Lion, let's see if he can come out with that Lion mentality here in the third and final round.
Yes, this is one of them rounds where he's going to have to prove to himself that he's ready.
And if this does go to a decision, do you think LaRon needs this round to get the win?
Yes. Whoever gets this round, I more than likely think will get the decision.
So a lot on the line here for both of these fighters. Once again, LaRon Roxamore in the red corner, Brandon Walkins in the blue corner. And another nice right hand by Roxamore, but answering right back is Walkins. You can see a little bit of that fatigue from the second round kind of finding its way early on in this third round once again.
It's going to be a very tired fight for the last minute or two in this third round.
Roxamore clinching him up, trying to catch his breath. Solid right by Walkins. I'd like to see LaRon work that jab a little bit more. Like you mentioned earlier, it's been one punch and done for Roxamore. See if we can get a little 1-2 combination with the left hand going into a right hook.
Yes. He's gonna have to continue that right hand with to finish the combination. It's good.
LaRon doing a good job getting out of that corner, tying him up. Oh, and a nice catches LaRon. We saw LaRon land a nice right hand in that second round when he was fatigued, so we know he has it in him. Like to see him make one more nice connection here on Walkins. Once again, both fighters going to be separated. Fight coming down here to the final round. And LaRon there looking for the knockout shot, his corner yelling missile, and I can only guess that means it's time to unleash a nice strong punch here.
Yes.
So the third and final round here in the 152-pound open semifinal, and it's coming down to the final seconds.
It's a very impressive last 30 seconds. 30 seconds left in this fight.
And these fighters know what's on the line. I can imagine here in this last few seconds, they're going to turn it up, use whatever energy they have left, and just try to finish this fight out strong.
Where you hit it dang in the last 8 to 10 seconds, it's going to be a very exciting. They're going to both pick up the pace. They're going to both take everything out the tank that they got and use it. Here we go. They're going to both take everything out the tank and use it for this last.
And hopefully we don't end this in the clinch. I'd like to see these fighters separate and at least get some good shots in. And Brandon Walkins ends it with the right hand that caught him.
That was a hell of a fight.
A great fight between these two fighters. We're going to the decision. You see LaRon here on the ropes. He is exhausted. Walkins in his corner exhausted. Like you said, a great fight, and it's going to go to the decision.
Yes, I like it. I like the red corner in the decision. I like LaRon with the one. He was more composed. He landed more punches. I believe he gets the decision in this fight. In a split decision, I feel like they give it to LaRon out of split decision.
And you got to think that punch in the second
Hey,
period
Mike,
certainly
I
helps
got
with
to
that.
Yes,
Definitely the hardest punch of the night, and it landed square on the chin of Walkins.
She's a very special lady to the Police Athletic League. And without saying much, it's Lisa Lanahan. And not only is she Lisa, but she's Judge Lisa, federal judge. And we thank her for all the work that she does.
And
with
once
the
again, a
Police
great
Athletic
job in
League.
the
She
corner
has
there
a
by
class
Hiawatha
that she
Hudson.
does
You can
at
tell they had to
Third
switch
Avenue
up the strategy
with the
after that
women.
first round, and
And
LaRon
if you
responded
need some
well,
more
and he came out
information
strong
about
in the
that,
second and third
you can
rounds.
ask Lisa because they do a very good boxing training for the ladies on Saturday mornings and in the evenings on, I believe, maybe Tuesday and Thursday.
Both fighters
But we
still
thank
trying
her
to
very
catch their
much
breath.
for keeping the kids off the street and being
We'll
part
talk a
of
little
the
bit here
Police
before the
Athletic
decision.
League.
Obviously, in professional
And for
boxing,
always
more rounds. The
supporting the
rounds are a little bit
motto of
longer in
always
most
for the
cases.
kids.
How do
We
you
thank you,
transition when you're
Lisa.
going from these short,
All right, big round of
fast-paced,
applause
fast-burst
for
boxing
Judge
matches into the
Lisa.
longer ones?
Get into the swimming pool. Get into the swimming pool. Your endurance is very important. That's why you double everything you did while you was in the amateurs to get you ready for the pros. Because your stamina is very important in the pros. Very important.
So now the moment we've all been waiting for, the final decision here in this headliner fight
All right, let's give
between
these guys a
LaRon
big round of
Roxamore
applause.
and Brandon
Those guys threw
Walkins.
some punches, boy. Winner, boxing the blue corner, Brandon Watkins.
That was a tough call. I feel like that was it was an up fight. I feel like it was a bad call, but you know, this is the amateurs. It happens. In the amateurs, this is very important. This is a learning lesson for LaRon. So you take this and you learn from it. He made a lot of mistakes, and you go back to the drawing board. The amateurs is never the end of your career. So
Certainly is. Definitely want to see LaRon keep his head up. A tough loss here. It was certainly a great fight. Both guys exhibiting a lot of skills, but just a little bit more according to the judges in that blue corner.
All right, as our final boxers are making their way into the ring.
So
we'd
we
like
got
to
one
thank
more
everyone
match
for coming
here,
out and
live
supporting
on the
us here tonight,
Roxamore
supporting
Sports
your
Network.
Boxers, your young
Looks like
men
it's going to be
that,
Brandon
have worked very
Pendleton
hard
taking on Brett
and trained countless
Rosoff,
hours to
Furbite
get up
out
here
of
and
Penn
do what they
State.
do for the few minutes that they do up here. It's not just about today, it's about what they do every day.
I just sparred with this little kid in the blue corner.
I also like to thank
What can we expect to see from
to
him?
bring boxing back into
He's
Monroeville,
tough.
into the mall.
He came to me while I was in his gym sparring professional fighters. We were sparring, and he came up to me after and said, "Can I get some work with you?" I said, "Yes, you can get some work. I'm not gonna hold back." He didn't care. He got in there with me. He's very tough. So I spent a lot of tough and he's very precise tonight. He wants to get this win. When I first got here, he asked me for advice.
And of course,
he's a very motivated fighter to herself. So and determined. He's very determined.
And on the other side, Brandon Pendleton, he has a little bit of a size advantage here. A very tall young man at this weight class, and definitely has a reach advantage.
Yes, he's very bad. When they got his size, he's very.
For our final bout of the evening, it's a 101-pound intermediate final. Boxing out of gold medal gym in the red corner, Niko Provins.
So we're actually switching it up here, going off
And his
script.
opponent
We're
in
going
the
back to
blue
what was
corner,
supposed to be the
Second
first
Avenue
bout
pal,
of the
Leo
day.
Rodriguez.
So we have in the red corner out
Good
of
luck,
gold
John.
medal gym, Niko Provins. And then in the blue corner out of Center Ave, WPAL, Leo Rodriguez at 101 pounds in the intermediate final.
Yes, and I think that is because his opponent showed up late, so they had to get this fight pushed back. So.
And what's that like as a fighter? You know when you're going to fight, and then something happens, and you have to wait a little bit more. You have to reload, get into your mindset once again.
Tough. It's tough. You got to try to stay patient. You got to try to stay calm. You got to try to not think about it and go into this fight and just worry about winning. But it's very tough to do that. So it takes a lot of coaching from your coaches to get their kid prepared for stuff like that.
You were talking about sparring with the young man, Leo Rodriguez.
Yeah,
he throws those punches on a line for sure. There's no wasted motion in that right hand.
Yes, he's throwing very short punches. And I see him winning this fight with the straight punches is really helping him. Having them straight punches is really working right now.
But on the other side, Niko Province, he has a little bit of oomph in those punches for a young lad.
Yeah, he's looked like a very heavy hitter for one-on-one. And I see he's going to change the game plan and get a little aggressive because he got a smaller opponent. He's going to get a little bit more aggressive.
Province trying to walk into that right hand, but he walks straight into a right from Leo Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Both of these guys early on here in this first round, boxing in tight corners. We've already seen a couple tie-ups. In your personal fighting style, do you like to use the range and kind of separate yourself from your opponent, or you like being in close?
I'm a range fighter, so every time I fight a step towards me, I take a step back. So I keep you at your range. If I want to come inside, it's going to be my choice.
Let's give Natalie a big round of applause. Helping out tonight.
As we'll now go to an interview here.
Giveaways and keep us straight on what round is what round. Thank you, Natalie.
We're here live on the Roxamore Sports Network with Brandon Walkins, just coming out of the fight against LaRon Rockymore. Both of you guys showing that you have a lot of talent in the ring. What was your mindset coming into this fight?
Just stay moving. I knew he was going to use his jab a lot. I was trying to stay on the outside, work his body. I'm a big body puncher, and just wanted to use that to my advantage tonight.
And in the second round, you took a very hard right hand to the chin. How'd you react after getting struck with that right?
It's one of the hardest I've been hit. I've had 11 fights so far. That's one of the toughest. He hit me. I didn't have my feet set. I was kind of, not really expecting it to come, and he threw it, and it landed clean.
Johnny?
Yeah, I like the fight. One point you said, body first, head second. Yeah. Definitely when you're fighting a guy taller than you. That's smart. I like your coaching. The coach is pay attention to that. He was very smart to let you know that.
He was doing a good job. Like I was throwing a lot of hooks when we were in tight, and I knew he was keeping his hands up a lot, so I knew the body was
body will make you drop your hands. Importantly, that's an important point. Yeah, I like it, man. I look forward to seeing you, man. You're very impressive.
Thank you.
So once again, congratulations to Brandon Walkins. Good luck throughout the rest of your career, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
So we go to round number 2 now with the youngins at 101 pounds. Niko Province out of Gold Medal Gymnasium and Leo Rodriguez out of Center Ave.
Yeah, the guy's tough. It looks like the red corner starting to use his distance. He's starting to be very smart with his distance, learning that the guy's tough and he wants to get on the inside. Oh, nice movement. It's a very tough fight. They're both very, very stout for their age and their weight.
And interesting from that interview with Brandon Walkins saying that right hand was the hardest he's ever been hit in the ring. Just a great job by him responding after taking that punch, because it's not easy.
Yes, I give him a big props for that. And admitting to it and giving us details on how he bounced back from it. It was very bad.
Great fight there in the open semifinal between LaRon Rockymore and Brandon Walkins. We're here now in the intermediate final. Another quick round. A lot of defense by these two fighters. Haven't seen really any devastating punches landed yet.
Yeah.
And so right now, we have one round left here, the final fight of the evening from the Western Pennsylvania Golden Gloves. So you've been out of amateur boxing for a decent amount of time now. Do you miss anything about it from tournaments like this, obviously getting to show off your talents?
Yeah, I missed the Golden Gloves. The Golden Gloves was a big fight for me. I loved it. It was like the biggest stage, and I set a very big stamp. I'm going to be in a Golden Glove Hall of Fame, so I'm going to be honored when I get that. I won it 4 times straight, so I left a big stamp on the amateurs with the Golden Gloves. And I left a big stamp in Pittsburgh, so I love the sport. And if I can go back to the amateurs, I will definitely most likely think about it.
The paychecks certainly don't hurt, though.
Yeah, the paychecks are not argumentative right now. This is this is how you start off a third round. They're starting off. They know they both got the ups, so they know they're both up on this. So it's really who wins this. It's really who wins this round who's going to get the fight.
And obviously, a lot of these fighters are going to go back and watch our broadcast, and maybe even some fighters watching, supporting some of their teammates. What's your message to these guys that are at a young age now, looking to advance up to the next level of boxing? And what do you really need to learn here at this amateur level?
Learn here tonight that this is not the end. You go home. After every fight, you always go to the drawing board. No matter if you won or if you lost, you go back to the drawing board, because it's going to be very important when you turn pro to make sure you go back to the drawing board and correct all your mistakes. So go back. I will advise you all to go in here, watch the fight, look at everything you did wrong only, don't worry about what you did right, and go home and fix it. It's a big advice for you for when you get to the pros. It's going to be big. From when you go to sparring, from when you go to fights, you want to fix all your mistakes, because mistakes can get you hurt in a professional level, and there's no coming back from it.
So both these fighters looking to turn into a wrestling match in the clinch there.
Yeah.
They'll tie it up once again.
The red corner's doing very good with not indulging into the clinches. So he's doing very good and not wasting his energy with the clinches.
And one thing you don't really see much at this level that you see a lot in professional boxing is still trying to land punches when you are tied up like that. What's the strategy whenever you get tied together and trying to still land some hits to the body?
A lot of body turning. You want to turn your body and twist and put the body shots in. You want to hit to the body, somewhere where the ref ain't all the way paying attention, and tire your guy out. Because when he gets out of that clinch and you hit him with a couple of body shots, you're going to feel it later on in the rounds.
So as with the last fight, we're going to go to the decision here in the final bout at the 101-pound intermediate final between Niko Province in the red corner and Leon Rodriguez in the blue corner. We have a little bit of time here before the decision. We've talked about it already. Your fight coming up March 20th. It'll be your third professional fight. What can we expect to see from that fight?
It's going to be very interesting. I'm going to get to show a lot of talent. As far as the predictions, I'm predicting me to have a first-round, second-round knockout. I'm going to put on a lot of entertainment in my performance. So it's going to be a real interesting fight. I advise everybody to make it out to see this fight.
He's the one who knocked out Jake Gyllenhaal.
So you heard it here. Second, third-round knockout. We'll see if you can make that come true.
With these guys making movies. But he hasn't forgot his roots. He's still working with the kids down 3rd Avenue Gym. So we thank you, Rako.
So we'll see what our final decision of the final bout here, the second weekend of boxing here from the Monroeville Mall. And this is a little bit of a different setup. Obviously, every fight stage is going to be different. What was the weirdest kind of venue that you went into as an amateur boxer that you kind of had to adjust to coming in?
Oh, I had to go to a hotel for my first time, and it was
all right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a split decision.
It was a cigar house, so it was like a cigar hotel. So it was like everybody was allowed to smoke cigars. There was a lot of rich fancy, a lot of rich fancy people in there, and they were smoking cigars. So, and we had to fight in the smoke. I was choking during the fight. It was a big fight.
And for the closest,
it was a big experience for me.
And I guess that's one of those things as an amateur. It only makes you stronger. You'll certainly never have that at the professional level, but maybe that's something you can learn from and use it in your professional career as something that, is not always going to be in the best of situations, but you got to make it work.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this evening.
So the winner here in our final fight coming out of the red corner is going to be Niko Province. He definitely used that reach to his advantage and came out with the win in the final bout, getting a win for gold medal gymnasium.
Yes, I give him his props. He did very good.
So once again, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us here on the Roxamore Sports Network. Johnny, thank you for joining me. Good luck in your fight here coming up in March. And we definitely look to have you back for another one of our boxing broadcasts.
Yes, thank you. I'll be honored to come back. I liked it. It was my first experience commentating. I liked it. Getting ready for it on the big stage, so it was good to start learning here. So thank you for the experience, Roxamore.
So we'd like to thank everyone for joining us here on the Roxamore Sports Network. Make sure you check out our website at www.roxamoresports.com to see our upcoming schedule. We'll be back in action on Friday live for the Roxamore Report. We'll see you there. Say have a good one.
See you then.